have a look at the facts then. The FTSE 100 had its worst trading day in over a year, and the biggest concerns are about the US economy. Now, here in the UK, over 40 billion, that's 40 billion, was wiped from the value of the biggest quoted companies on the London Stock Exchange. The FTSE 100 index fell 2%, closing at 8,008, and the FTSE 250, which is normally a barometer of UK business health, that dropped about 2.8%. The sell-off basically began because of Wall Street due to disappointing jobs data in the US and poor financial results from people like Amazon and Intel. And investors, basically, they get very scared. And when they get scared, there's a sort of panic buying and selling and so on and so forth. And they feared that the US economic growth at 2.8% in quarter two might falter. And what they did, they blamed the Federal Reserve decision not to cut interest rates. The good news, however, is that today, as you hinted at, Taylor, the Japan's Nikkei 225 index, whilst it fell 12.4% yesterday, it's worse since October 1987, it's basically coming back. And it's gone up 10%, which is one of the biggest surges they've had for an awful long time. The yen has now stabilized at about 144 to the dollar. And basically, it's a historic surge they had. It's about 3,453 points in the Nikkei 225. So it's basically been a roller coaster on the market. And what is always fascinating about these things is if you look back at history, and that's what we've been doing. And I know Basil and you have been doing a deep dive into what the various historical crashes have been and what lessons may have been learned. I was looking within seconds ago, just before we came on air, at the FTSE. There was the usual sort of roller coaster where it went up a bit and then down a bit, and it's around the just over 8,000 mark as we speak. But it's going to be an interesting day, and people are going to keep their eye on it. But the good news is that Japan recovered accordingly, and quite a big recovery it was too.
From national security to global corruption, this is the Muckrakers on today's News Talk, TNT.